I have come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
King Kong in the trunk. King Kong, King Kong.
I'm back. Rhodes Rants on horror. And this time, the cult classic John Carpenter's They Live. Saw this movie many years ago when it came out, 1988. John Carpenter directed and wrote this movie as sort of a protest to Reaganomics back in the day, believe it or not. He thought that society was becoming too commercialized and things were getting out of control. Okay? And it stars the great Rowdy Roddy Piper of then WWF fame, not WWE. And he is a drifter, a guy that's come in after working in Colorado for 10 years, various journeyman duties, skilled labor, into L.A. He's looking for work. He goes in and he finally kind of goes around. He goes into the unemployment office and they're like, we ain't got shit for you. So he goes around to construction sites and he goes to work as a construction laborer. He's even got his own tools on his pack back there. And while he is there, he meets another fellow worker played by the great Keith David. Yes. Him and Keith David become friends, although the drifter's name is Nada, by the way. So Nada becomes friends with Keith David's character, and he takes him back to a group of homeless people. Okay? They're homeless, but they've set up a community, complete with some buildings, access to showers, and just so people can try to get back on their feet, get some wages under them so they can move on to better things. Well, while he's there, he finds out that something weird is going on. Number one, somehow they got a TV out there. Well, with the TV out there, some guy keeps cutting into the TV talking about they are trying to control you, blah, blah, blah. They're manipulating your thought process, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, God, I'm watching this. I'm getting headaches. What the hell? Well, Nada is pretty perceptive, much like myself. And he is seeing the head guy of the community. He keeps going across the street to a church. And this church has always got singing going on and blah, blah, blah. And Nada is getting sort of curious. What's really going on at this church? It's kind of weird. There's helicopters flying around randomly. He goes in there. He finds out that all the singing is a tape recording. And he's like, what the hell? And then he finds some boxes and, of course, some sunglasses. He does not pick up the sunglasses. He sort of goes about his life. But he starts asking around. Keith David's like, don't want no part of this. Keep your nose down. Keep your head down. Keep working. Well, shit gets more serious. The TV messages start coming in more and more. And all of a sudden, the police shows up and raids this camp and bulldozes it down. And they raid the church across the street. And Nada goes over there after the fact. He finds a pair of these sunglasses and he says, well, fuck it, I'm going to put these sunglasses on. He goes walking out. Well, as he's walking down the street, he's looking around at all the signs and everything's turned into black and white. And all the signs like, Eat at Joe's is now says things like obey, stay on target. Not literally, but you get my point. Okay, everything is constricted into a message. Go forward, do not ask questions, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the most interesting thing he can now see. Because as he's looking around, he's noticing that some people around him don't look the same. You might be like, well, nobody looks the same. No. They are actually aliens. That's right. These sunglasses can show him the aliens. And there's some ugly fucks, let me tell you, okay? Kind of some, excuse my language, pussy face bitches, if you ask me. Like, if you combine that with some pizza face, maybe that's better. Anyway, the hell with it. Nobody's ever getting me for not keeping it real. So anyway, he's looking around. He's starting to freak out. He's like, oh, shit, blah, blah, blah. What am I looking at? And he goes into a shop, and he's talking to a woman. And he's looking at her, and he's like, she's over there, like, primping her hair and stuff. He's like, bitch, no matter what, that ain't going to help. Because he can see that she's an ugly-ass alien. And then all of a sudden it dawns on her, he can see. And she gets on her little watch, and she's like, we've got a seer. We've got somebody that can see. He's like, ooh, I don't like this. He starts backing out. He goes into an alley, and all of a sudden cops show up. And they're both aliens. And a little brawl ensues between the cops. And bam, he gets their guns and shoots them both dead. Well, all of a sudden, he's wanted by the law, right? Which he's really wanted by aliens. So he makes his way through the city. He hooks up. He needs a place to lay low. He takes the great Meg Foster as hostage. The redhead genre actress from the 80s and the 90s. As soon as you see her, you'll be like, I know Meg Foster. Red hair and has crazy ass pretty eyes. Very pretty eyes. Rob Zombie is casting her a lot in his movies lately. So, anyway, he takes her hostage, and he's standing over by the window. She knocks him out of the window, and he falls like 30 feet. He goes rolling down the hill 100 feet, and that's it. Well, he makes his way back around because as part of all this mess, he gets a shotgun. He goes into a bank as pictured up above here. Above here. I do that all the time. Up above here, he walks in and he says the great line, I am here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of fucking bubblegum. And he starts shooting aliens in there, okay, in the middle of a bank. So that puts everybody on a code red. He's all of a sudden he's on TV. They're after him. He worms his way back around the construction site, and he's like, psst, Keith David. And Keith David's like, whoa, no, motherfucker, get out of here, right? Well, anyway, this is where it gets interesting. He wants Keith David to put these sunglasses on. And Keith David's like, I'm not putting them motherfucking sunglasses on. He's like, you're putting them on. He's like, motherfucker, you can't make me. And what transpires then is literally, and it's on all-time fight list from movies, a 6-minute street fight between Rowdy Roddy Piper and the great Keith David. And if you've seen Keith David, he's about 6'5" and about 230, and this is a fight. And I mean a hell of a fight. There's belly-to-back suplexes. There's side suplexes. I mean, there's wrestling moves. There's boxing. This is MMA street fighting before it was a thing. And it is a classic fight in movie history. Once you see this movie, you'll come away going, God, they beat the shit out of each other. But he finally gets the glasses on him. And Keith David's like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? Why all these people look crazy? Well, explains to him. And then we worm our way back around, and they hook up with a group that's led by somebody that was over at the camp they were at originally. And this is a thing. There's a whole rebellion, of underground rebellion movement going on. And they've now graduated from sunglasses to contact lenses. And that's even better. That way they can keep a low pro, right? Well, they have determined that there is a signal that gets pumped in, okay, across, I guess, the city, across the world. It goes on and on from the aliens, from a satellite on top of the Cable 54 building. So Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David end up in said building, and they're like, we're taking this mother effing satellite out. We go through there, sort of a Day of the Dead situation brews as they're walking through hallways, shooting machine guns. Dudes are getting wasted all over the place. Really, really cool stuff, okay? And it's got your classic John Carpenter boom, boom, chicka-dum. I mean, just this music that is just continuous and subtle and just really good stuff, okay? If you have not seen They Live, John Matrix, you need to go watch They Live. It's on Stars right now, okay? It's a classic. It's a classic. On a scale of 1 to 10, I probably give They Live something like probably a 8 out of 10. You might be like, whoa, that seems kind of high. This is an 80s classic. This is an 80s cult classic. It's it's now considered a John Carpenter classic. And again, the street fight gets about 3 points added to the movie between Keith David and Rowdy Roddy Piper. Great street fight. And anyway, we get to the end, and he takes out the satellite. This is, of course, got spoilers. Too late. Okay. Man, really good. Really good movie. If you have not seen They Live, take an hour and 40 minutes. Like I said, it's on Stars, which is available through Amazon Prime. And get on it. Watch They Live, a John Carpenter classic. Where would I rank this on John Carpenter movies? That's interesting. Halloween's always going to be number 1 for me, and probably The Thing would be number 2. And then, yeah, we would start debating some things. A lot of people don't like vampires. I love vampires with James Woods. Okay. Sort of some slight comparisons between James Woods and Rowdy Piper's character in this. You know, Ghost of Mars was terrible. That, to me, is probably one of his worst movies, which had a great cast, but it just wasn't a good flick. You tell me what you think, Rhodes Squadron. Have you seen They Live? What do you think of it? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you freaking hate it? Do you think, Rhodes, you need your head examined? If you grew up in the 80s, They Live was the shit. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
I got King Kong in the trunk. King Kong, King Kong, King Kong.